Hello everyone and welcome to the next session of ArthaPoint CUT MA English. Today we will be continuing our discussion of past year MA English CUT paper. We would be discussing a set of questions that are extremely important for your next CUT examination. Let us begin. The very first question that we have here is, who is the author of understanding fiction? The options that we have here are Dover Wilson, Kenneth Brooks, Rain Wellick, R.S. Crane. The correct answer to this question is Kenneth Brooks. Now, I would like to talk more about understanding fiction so that you could get a basic sense of what this book is all about. We would then be discussing understanding fiction in length in the coming session when we would be discussing the work of the writer. Now, this book, Understanding Fiction, was written by Kenneth Brooks and Robert Penn Warren. Now, you need to remember this, that the question could have had the option of Robert Penn Warren instead of Kenneth Brooks as well. So you should know both the authors. So it's Kenneth Brooks and Robert Penn Warren. Kenneth Brooks was the member of the School of New Critics, and his book was published in the year 1943. It would be good if you could note down these points, because I would give you a small gist of when was the book written, who wrote the book, who the author was, and a small summary as to what the book contains, so that in case there's any question about understanding fiction, you could have a quick answer to the question. So he was the member of New Critics, the School of New Critics, and the book was published in the year 1943. Now, both Brooks and Warren, they laid out a foundation as to what all should a fiction contain. So the book basically gives out a method of how to write a fiction, which includes a set of pieces in section of illustration, plot, characters, theme, and the book also contains 4 short stories. Now, one more important thing to know about this book is that there's an illustration in the book which has a letter to the teachers on how to teach the philosophy of fiction. Then there are, as I told you, that there are 4 short stories in the book. These stories are without any annotations, and these stories are written by major authors, right? So it basically is a very, very, very important book when we talk about the complete genre of fiction, right? That is why we would be discussing this book, Understanding Fiction by Kenneth Brooks and Warren, in detail in the upcoming session, right? Now, let us move on to our next question. In linguistics, new and new are examples of. So let us look at the options. The options that we have here are homophones, homonyms, allophones, and antonyms. This is a very basic question, and you would get more and more questions related to such topics, because this is the foundation of literature. This is the foundation of grammar, right? Now, for those who have seen my earlier videos, we have in large discussed about allophones, right? So before talking of all the 4 options, let me first clarify what allophones are, because we have already discussed this. I've already told any word that has phone in it has to do with sound. So allophone is a type of phoneme. Again, we have discussed phonemes in length as to what phonemes are. An allophone is a type of phoneme. Let's take an example of the term pit and keep. So P in pit is pronounced in a different way, and in keep it's pronounced in a separate way. So same alphabet pronounced in two different manner is what an allophone is, right? Antonym you must be aware of. Antonyms, what are antonyms? Very basic. Antonyms are opposite words. Synonyms are similar words. Antonyms are opposite word. Good, bad, for example. Right. Now, what is a homophone? By the way, the correct answer to this question is homophone. Let us understand what is a homophone and what is a homonym. What is the difference between the two? Right. So homophones are the words that are pronounced alike but have different derivation or spellings. So what did I say? Homophone, pronounced similar, different spelling. Right. Let us take an example of 2, 2, 2. Right. The pronunciation to all these words is similar. All of them are pronounced as 2, but the meaning is different. The spelling is different. The derivation is different. New, new. So both the words are pronounced alike, but have different meanings, different spellings, different derivations. What is an homonym? A very, very basic question again. What is onomatopoeia? Let us go through the options. A word which lexically imitates the sound it describes. A word which morphologically imitates the sound it describes. A word which semantically imitates the sound it describes. And the word which phonetically imitates the sound it describes. So what is an onomatopoeia? So an onomatopoeia is basically a literary device which represents a sound. That is the basic definition of onomatopoeia. Let us understand by an example. For example, the word crack, pop, the word splat. So by the word crack, the sound also comes that it cracks, right? Anything cracks, the sound is similar to the word. So it basically phonetically imitates the sound it describes, right? So the fourth option is correct. For example, a popcorn, when it pops, it sounds as if it's popping. There's a sound of pop, and you can write these examples that would make it easier for you to learn the term, right? Let us move ahead. The next question that we have here is, in which year was Sir Rabindranath Tagore awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature? The correct answer to this question is 1913. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for his literature work, Gitanjali, in the year 1913. His work was published in London in the year 1912. So you must know for what literary work was he awarded the Nobel Prize, in which year was the work published, and when did he get the Nobel Prize, right? So one more significant thing to know about this Nobel Prize was the fact that it was the first time that it was given to an Indian, right? So therefore it becomes more and more eminent in the history of Indian literature, right? Let us move on to the next question. Who is the director of the 1982 film Gandhi? This film was directed by Richard Attenborough. Now, this film recounts the journey of how a lawyer practicing in South Asian country became an immense part of the Indian movement, and a complete account of the life of Mahatma Gandhi. It came out in the year 1982 and was directed by Richard Attenborough. You can go through the movie once if you want. Otherwise, you can just go through the summary of the movie because it is more or less a complete, again, a complete picture of how Gandhi became what he is known as today, right? The father of the nation. With this, we sum up today's session. I would be back with more questions. Till then, I would request you all to go through the topics that we have discussed today, and you can ask any questions that you have in the comment section below. And if there's anything that is not clear or if you want me to elaborate, you can write down in the comment section. Till then, take care. And for solved answer key, you can contact us at 83686